Okay, so you did it. You got the epidural steroid injection, and now you're home. And you're probably wondering, all right, what now? What's supposed to happen? If you're looking for a really clear, no-nonsense guide to the next 2 weeks, you're in the right place. We're going to walk through it step by step.
First things first, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and tackle the question that might be screaming in your head right now. You went through this whole thing to feel better, so why on earth might you actually feel a little bit worse? I get it. It's confusing, it's super frustrating, and you know what? It is surprisingly common.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling, that emotional whiplash. It is completely normal to feel like your body just isn't playing by the rules. You did the right thing, and it still hurts. But I want to reassure you, this does not mean the injection failed. This is often just step one.
To make sense of all this, we need a map. So I want you to think of the next 2 weeks in 3 simple phases. First, the flare. Then, the ramp-up. And finally, the verdict. And as we go through this, we're going to follow one single golden rule. Your function, what you can actually do, tells the truth way sooner than your pain score ever will. We're going to come back to that again and again.
Okay, here it is, our master timeline. First up, days 1 to 3. That's the flare. This is all about soreness and irritation. The key here, don't judge anything yet. Just let it be. Then, from about day 3 to day 7, we hit the ramp up. This is where we start looking for the very first subtle clues that the steroid is starting to work. Finally, days 7 to 14 bring us to the verdict. This is our clearest, most honest window for seeing what the real results are going to be.
So what exactly is this flare we keep talking about? Well, think of it like this. A needle just visited a very sensitive, very crowded neighborhood of nerves and tissues. The flare is just your body's temporary reaction to that visit. It's saying, whoa, what was that? It usually lasts 1 to 3 days, and it is absolutely 100% not a sign that the injection didn't work. It's just noise before the signal.
And that brings us to a really critical distinction. A flare basically just turns the volume up on your usual pain. It might feel louder, but it shouldn't be bringing new, scary symptoms to the party. Red flag pain, on the other hand, is different. It's pain that comes with something new, like sudden weakness in your leg you didn't have before, a fever, or other urgent signs. This is the difference between annoying but okay and urgent make a call, and it's so important to know which is which.
So once we're past that flare and into that ramp-up phase, what are we actually looking for? It's not going to be a magic light switch. It's going to be subtle stuff. Maybe you just notice that the really intense pain you get every morning, it just doesn't last as long. Or that burning, shooting quality, it's still there, but it's quieter. Maybe you can sit through a whole dinner or walk to the mailbox with fewer of those nasty electric zaps. These are your first little wins. These are the hopeful signs of progress.
All right, this leads us to our next really crucial section, the symptom decoder. Look, your job here isn't to diagnose yourself. It's simply to get comfortable knowing the difference between what's an expected, normal part of recovery and what's a signal that you need to pick up the phone and call your doctor.
Think of this chart as your safety guide. It's really simple. The things at the top, soreness at the injection site, that temporary flare, maybe even some mild flushing or trouble sleeping, those are all in the watch and wait category. They're pretty normal. But that bottom half, that's a different story. Any new weakness, any fever, a really severe headache, or any changes in your bowel or bladder control, these are not normal. These are call now signals. No toughing it out, no exceptions.
All right, now that we know what to watch for, let's talk about what we can actually control, because it is surprisingly easy to accidentally mess with your own recovery and just muddy the waters, making it hard to know if the injection is working. Let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. Here are the 4 biggest mistakes to avoid. Number 1, that amazing pain-free feeling you might have on day 1, enjoy it, but know that it's likely the local anesthetic from the procedure. Don't get discouraged when it wears off. Number 2, if you start feeling pretty good on day 3, please do not celebrate by going for a heroic workout. Test your body's new limits gradually. Number 3, and you've heard this before, track your function, not just your pain score. And finally, number 4, never, ever, ever tough out a red flag symptom. Weakness is not a flare. And that brings us right back to the most important rule of this whole explainer. It is so important, it's worth saying one more time. Think of your pain score like the weather. It can change hour by hour, and it's kind of unpredictable. But your function, how many minutes you can walk, how well you slept, that is your true north. That's the real data that tells you what's actually going on.
So how do we actually capture that functional data? In this last section, we're going to build a super simple action plan. This is going to help you take control of your recovery and walk into your follow-up appointment ready to have a much more productive, high-signal conversation with your doctor. This is it. This is your secret weapon. It's a simple 2-minute log you fill out each day. Yeah, a pain score is fine, but more importantly, how many minutes could you walk today? How many hours did you actually sleep last night? And what is one specific, real-world thing you could do today that you couldn't do before? Like, I sat through dinner without having to get up. This isn't a diary, it's a data sheet, and it is incredibly powerful.
You know, there's a story about someone who was tracking their dad's recovery. His pain score was all over the map, just up and down, totally confusing. So they started timing his laps walking down the hallway. And you know what? The hallway didn't lie. His walking time was getting a little bit better every single day. That's the kind of clear data that cuts right through the noise and makes it so much easier for your medical team to actually help you.
So here is your one action step, your homework, if you will. Before you do anything else, just grab a notebook or open a note on your phone and set up this mini log for the next 14 days. Seriously, don't wait, do it right now. This simple little act gives you clarity when things feel chaotic, and it gives you a real sense of control over your own recovery. And as we wrap this up, just remember this. The goal by day 14 isn't perfection. It's not about being 100% pain-free. The real goal is to see repeatable, measurable improvement in what you can do. A single good day is really nice, don't get me wrong, but consistent progress, that is the real win. So go start collecting your data and let's see what story it has to tell.